All right, welcome to another week's edition of A Fan's View Sports Talk. I'm your host, Jay Ivy, and joining me, I got the prestigious Kai Harris by way of Charlotte, North Carolina, aka Syracuse, New York. Good to have you back, Kai. How you doing? How you feeling?
Good to be back. Feeling pretty good, man. I was on the shelf for a little bit these last couple weeks.
hmm
Hospital things like that. Full
hmm
transparency, man.
hmm
But I'm just glad to be back, 100%, and ready to talk about these sports.
Well, man, I'm glad you're feeling better, doing better, and glad to have you back. We got a lot going on this weekend. Anybody watching out there, be safe. We got this crazy weather, winter storm coming in. I think it's
Yeah.
supposed to hit 24 states. That's like half the country. So it seems like everybody's getting it. So just be safe out there. And if you want to subscribe to this podcast, Fans View, click on the link below. But we're gonna get started, man. I see you got your Chicago Bears hat on. I know it's been a rough week.
And the Caleb
Great
Williams.
game, great game. It was very, really all the playoff games have been exciting except for the Seahawks 49ers, but they've come down to the wire, very competitive. Your Bears had a close loss, man. Very exciting game. I know a lot of different emotions, different feelings, but I'm gonna let you speak on them. That's your team, your feelings about the game and about the season as a whole.
Oh, I feel great about the season that just passed. They were a year ahead of schedule.
Mhm.
They weren't even expected to be this good or go this far this year. Um, and what can I say about those 3 straight weeks of Caleb Williams pulling off the impossible? You had the 1 week where he had the walk off touchdown pass to DJ Moore. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't think you could get more crazier than that until the following week, and the 4th and 8.
hmm
So I tell people, if you want to know, I'm talking about Google or YouTube 4th and 8 Caleb Williams. You'll see one of the greatest throws you'll ever see in a playoff game.
hmm
Then the third week in a row, the pass where he scrambled about 15 to 20 yards and threw,
Backwards.
and threw it backwards and threw that pass to Cole. I mean, he was pulling off in that 3 week span. He was pulling off the football version of what Steph Curry would have been doing.
hmm
That was some Steph Curry stuff
Yeah.
he was doing. So, man, shout out to the Bears. Great season. Again, they'll get better from this, but at the same time, they're in one of the toughest divisions in football. But Caleb Williams, man, it's like, what can you say about him now?
Right. I think he's already solidified himself as a franchise quarterback. If there were any questions coming into the season, he's answered those questions. I think Ben Johnson has helped elevate his game to a new level. People are going to bring up, well, he did through the pick, but he's a young quarterback. He's going to make those
Oh
mistakes.
yeah, yeah.
You know, for him to get them to where they are, get them this far. I mean, that's huge. Considering his struggles as a rookie,
Mhm.
he'll continue to get better. I do think the relationship between him and Ben Johnson, that I think that's a great relationship they have. Ben Johnson is able to get the most out of him. He'll be able to improve his game, like you mentioned. They just have to really work on the defense. I think that's the
Oh
only
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the only area where they've struggled. Because you have to be able to get stops when you need it and get turnovers late in games when you need it. And really, they were fortunate to come back against that game against Green Bay
Yeah.
in that game. So that's the only thing they have to work on really is the defense. But if you're a Bears fan, you got to be happy with what you see out of that offense and with Caleb.
Yeah, they need what they need desperately are edge rushers
hmm
to take pressure off the DBs, because we have a pretty damn good secondary.
hmm
But it
They had a
looks
lot of
like they get
injuries though that hurt.
yeah, but it looks like they get cooked every
hmm
week because there's no pressure on the quarterback.
hmm
I mean, and sometimes I forget we have Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
It's like I barely hear his name. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because he needs help. He needs help getting to the quarterback. But again, I have no problems with the way the season ended, and yeah, that pick didn't help anything, but I just saw that as a miscommunication with him and DJ Moore, and DJ Moore's been so clutch in these playoffs. I had no problem with it.
Yeah, it looks like DJ Moore is stopped, cut on the route. Like you said, maybe he thought the ball wasn't coming out as wasn't expecting it. So that's again a miscommunication. You're going to have that with young quarterbacks,
Yeah,
and that's something they can fix and work on in the off season and going into next year.
and talking about Ben Johnson, how great he's been, he actually coached his worst game.
Hmm.
This wasn't a well coached Ben Johnson
I
game.
agree. I agree. I think he took a lot of unnecessary gambles, especially on fourth
Yeah,
down.
the fourth down, you go for it on fourth down all day, but after the pass to commit, you decide not to go for two to win the game.
Hmm.
So it was just kind of weird. And the pick that Caleb threw, I didn't like the play call. That was, if I'm not mistaken, that was 2nd and 8.
Hmm.
And you throw that, they should have ran the ball a couple more times.
Yeah, yeah. At least get, like I said, closer, a little bit closer, field goal range or whatever. But yeah, you didn't need to throw it downfield in that situation, take a
No.
chance like that.
So yeah, Ben, and this is their first year together. Imagine
Yes.
how's it going to look down the line. This is their first year together, so I'm excited. I'm definitely, man, proud of this season. I'm excited for next.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. A lot to look forward to with that team going into next year. But that division, like you said,
Whew.
it's tough. It's not. Green Bay. I know they've had some struggles. They're looking for a new defensive coordinator. You got the Vikings. Some questions about J.J. McCarthy. Detroit, I still think can bounce back. They had a down year.
Oh yeah,
There's still too much talent, especially on that
yeah.
offense, for them to stay down. So I think that division is going to be competitive again next year. Absolutely.
That division. I mean, it's one of those things in that division. It's going to be so tough. I mean, it's going to take an injury to. It's going to take a major injury to stop a team from getting out of that division.
Absolutely, absolutely. And moving forward, tomorrow we got the AFC Championship and NFC Championship games. A little intriguing. The first game is going to be New England Patriots going on the road against the Denver Broncos. Broncos are now playing with their backup quarterback, Jared Stidham, who used to play for the Patriots. Was a backup quarterback for the Patriots. It's going to be a very interesting game. I know Patriots come in as a 5.5-point favorite. I think they can. There's a path for Denver to win this game. If you watched that game last week, New England and Houston, Houston could have won that game. The C.J. Stroud turnovers, buried them. And even after the third or fourth turnover, they still could have won that game. Now, Houston has an elite defense.
Yeah.
But Denver has a top-ranked defense as well. So if you have a quarterback that can manage a game and not make a couple plays here and there and not turn the ball over, you can beat the Patriots, and they're at home. So even with Jared Stidham, I like their chances. And I think Sean Payton's a great play caller. I think he's not going to put them in bad situations. So I don't think it's doom and gloom for the Broncos like a lot of people expect.
Me either. I'm actually picking the Broncos.
Me too. Yeah.
I'm actually picking them. Can I get to CJ Stroud for a minute?
Yes.
His fall off from his rookie year till the last game he played needs to be studied.
Yes, absolutely. I was going to say the exact same thing. It definitely needs to be studied because he's taken a huge fall from grace. And what's crazy about it is that they fired the offensive coordinator he had his first 2 years because he regressed last year, which I thought was kind of an odd decision.
Right.
And then you bring in a new coordinator, and he really doesn't seem to be any better. Maybe gotten worse. And honestly, I know they wanted to stick with CJ going into the second half. I would have really considered putting Davis Mills in.
That's a fact.
They went 3-0 with Davis Mills during the season when Stroud was out with that concussion. This is the playoffs. It's do or die. Win or go home. So I would have put Davis Mills in that game second half.
All C.J. Stroud had to do in that game. Matter of fact, all C.J. Stroud had to do this whole season, if he was still in the playoffs, was be Trent Dilfer, be Brad Johnson.
Exactly.
We don't need you to win the game for us. Just don't lose it.
Right. Yeah, that defense. I look at that defense on the lines of like the 2000 Ravens, 2002 Buccaneers.
Yeah.
That's an elite defense. I mean, they're gonna stop other teams. They're gonna get turnovers. You don't need a lot. You can score probably 17 to 20 points and still win the game with that
Right.
defense.
I don't know what CJ Stroud was doing. Some of those throws. What do you have? 4 turnovers
Yeah.
at the half.
Yep. Yeah,
That,
man.
that what bothers me about that whole thing is you don't want to see a great defense like that go to waste.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't think CJ Stroud is in danger of being released or traded by the Texans. I think that's still their guy.
Mm-hmm.
But man, there's a lot of tweaking needs to be done in the offseason
Mm-hmm.
with him. And he didn't have Nico Collins either. Let's
They
point that
did.
out.
They have Nico Collins. I think he was down 2 offensive linemen in
Yeah.
the running game. I mean, Nick Chubb is not what he used to be, and Marks is decent, but he was even banged up. The other running back, Marks. So
Yeah.
you don't have a running game. You don't. 2 down offensive linemen. Said Nico Collins, and they had a lot of injuries. So I get that.
And you just don't, but you don't turn the ball over
No.
4 times in a half. You got to take care of it. And they still almost could have won this game because they got at Drake May. That defense got at him.
Yeah. Yeah, Drake May did not. He made some plays. He had a couple good drives, but he did not have a great game.
Right.
I mean, he's turned the ball over as well. I mean, he's prone to turn the ball over. That's why I think Denver has an advantage because I think they can get the ball from him. You've seen him, get sacked, stripped fumbles. Denver's defense is a real deal.
No,
It's not
no joke.
It's not the same as Houston, but it's not that far off.
They got
So
a nice
that defense can get after him, man. If Denver can just take care of the ball, get a couple big plays here and there, I think they can still win this game.
Like I said, I picked them, and it's such a unique situation. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this one before, where the starting quarterback gets hurt in the playoffs, and the backup comes in. Now, remember with the Carson Wentz Nick Foles situation, I want to say Carson Wentz went out.
He went out during the season, I think.
Like week 12
or
something like that. Then this is a totally different situation, though.
Yeah, you'd have to go back to probably Jeff Hostetler for the Giants.
Jeff Hostetler got hurt.
And they went on to go to the Super Bowl and win.
But was it that close, though, to where...
It wasn't right. Now, I don't know if it was a week before the championship game.
That's what makes this one crazy.
Right.
That's what makes it, because
and
now
what make it crazy is that it happened the second to last play of the game.
So
I mean, you're one play away, from winning. And if you'd have took a knee the play before, he would have been fine.
Yep. Dude, when I got that news across my phone, I said, "What?"
Yeah.
But Stidham is preparing to play the game of his life.
Mm-hmm.
It's the game of his life right here. And Sean Payton probably about to coach the game of his life.
Yeah, he's gonna have to.
But
Patriots got a pretty good defense too.
They do.
Or Frable, he's done a good job with that defense, and they can get after it. And they gave CJ Stroud and that Texans offense some problems.
Yeah.
So it's gonna come down to, I think it'll be a defensive battle. Which team makes the least amount of mistakes can make a big play when needed, when the game's on the line.
But Stidham, at some point in that game, Stidham's gonna have to beat him with his arm.
Yes, absolutely.
Some point during that game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then looking at the NFC Championship game, two teams that know each other well, the Seahawks are hosting the Rams. They split during the regular season. And Seahawks will be at home. They crushing defeat over the 49ers. And I think this is going to be a really good game. I looked at the Rams coming into the season as a Super Bowl team. I didn't expect the Seahawks to be where they are with Sam Darnold. But that defense is talk about defense, man. That defense is legit. Man, they get after it. There's no weaknesses, it seems like, on that defense. And again, we talked about Stroud, Sam Darnold. Now, he's elevated his game, but again, don't turn the ball over. Don't try to be Superman. You have an elite defense. They can run the ball. I know a couple of their running backs are nicked up, but they've been able to run the ball. Line is held up. They've been able to give them some good protection. And just go out there, manage the game. Don't try to be Superman. And I think the Seahawks can win this game. I got them winning this game. But I think it's gonna be close because it's a division game. They know each other. Both teams know each other well. Sean McVay, they've been to the Super Bowl, him and Stafford. But man, I just think Seattle, that defense, that 12th man, they're gonna be ready, man. That's gonna be hard to beat them where they're playing right now.
Yeah, we just talked about that NFC North division, how tough that is. That NFC West, man. I mean, you could have 4 teams coming out of that division. Well, 3, not counting Arizona. But like you said, that's the Seahawks defense is no joke. But I like the Rams in that game.
Mm.
I'm actually going with the Rams, and there were a lot of people who were picking Rams to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I was one of the teams that thought they would get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think the Rams go to the Super Bowl and win it. Stafford retires with his second Super Bowl ring and his MVP.
That very well could happen. I think whoever wins this game is going to win the Super Bowl anyway. The winner of the NFC Championship. I think that's the Super Bowl winner, in my opinion.
Yeah, like you said, man, Seattle, man. That defense. It's like you said, Darnold is in that same position, kind of that same position as CJ Stroud's in. Just don't lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to make. You got to make throws for us, but don't try to play hero ball and try to make the throw to put us in harm's way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of another great game, coming off that Monday night game, national championship, Indiana Hoosiers winning their first national championship ever, defeating the Miami Hurricanes, the U. First half, Indiana controlled that game. Miami made a run late, had a chance to win it on that final drive. Carson Beck throws the pick. It's history. What a season by Indiana. And I'm a Big Ten guy, being a Michigan fan. 3 years in a row, we've won Big Ten, won a national championship. But, man, that's got to be the biggest turnaround, definitely in college sports history, but maybe in all of sports. I mean, they were a complete doormat. And then the last 2 years, look where they are. I mean, I can't remember seeing anything like that.
It's like you said, the biggest. That's probably the biggest turnaround in sports history.
Mm-hmm.
Man, where's that movie? They need a Hoosiers.
It's coming. It's coming.
They need a Hoosiers 2, the football edition.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, I attribute a lot of that to transfer portal, NIL,
mm-hmm.
and the blueprint that a lot of these coaches might be practicing down the line. Mm-hmm. Instead of getting that 5-star 18, 19-year-old kid, hey, let's grab this 35-year-old kid.
Right. And they don't have a lot of 5-star recruits like some of these other programs.
Well, no, the thing is their average age was like 23 years old.
Yeah.
And you look at the Green Bay Packers, their average age is 24.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of coaches are going to be following that blueprint, getting these older guys. Remember, like in college basketball, in the NCAA tournament, you'd have like a Kentucky with 6 McDonald's All-Americans on the same team, mm-hmm. playing a team with 4 seniors, and the team with the 4 seniors always wins for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where college football is going. Get these older guys.
Yeah, and that also puts a lot more pressure on these big name coaches that have gone to new teams.
Yeah,
so if you're Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss to go to LSU, you look at the success Ole Miss had when he left for the playoffs. Now it's pressure on him. Matt Campbell going to Penn State. I mean, now you got, you look at what Indiana did. You're expected to turn a program around within 2 years. There's going to be a lot of high expectations. So that's putting pressure on a lot of these other big name coaches and getting paid all this money.
Yeah, these coaches are definitely under pressure because look what was it? Cignetti?
Is that his name? Cignetti? Yeah,
Cignetti. He wins everywhere he goes. Apparently.
Yeah. He said in the press conference, he said, "Google me, I win."
He said, "I win." He said, "I win. Google me." He brought his whole James Madison squad over to Indiana with him.
Yeah.
And they have a guy, I forget his name, who's coming in next year to quarterback Indiana.
Yeah.
So I forgot his name, but yeah, man, we're gonna see if he could. I'm interested to see what he does next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they'll be I expect the top 10 team at least. I don't know if they'll be favored to win it to repeat, but I don't see them having a huge fall off next year. I think they'll be right in it.
But it was great to see Miami lose. Oh, I loved every bit of that.
ACC, yeah. But I will say this. I mean, it's good to see that the Hurricanes, will be relevant again. College football is always better and more exciting, I think, when the Hurricanes are relevant. And they definitely proved to be relevant this year. And it was a chance they weren't even going to make the playoffs, the tournament. they're like one of those last teams to get in, and then they run the table and get to the championship game. So, hats off to them for a great season. I know they
Hmm.
didn't end the way they wanted to, but still, right, great season, great turnaround for them as well.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, the Florida State guy in me,
Hmm.
but I agree. When college football is good, actually, college football is great when Miami and Florida State are both good
Yes. Hmm.
as far as the ACC conference goes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And those out there watching, Fans View Sports Talk, if you want to see more of these great podcasts, click on the link below. And getting into shifting over the NFL, the coaching circles, coaching cycle.
Hmm.
A lot of 10 head coach openings. I think that's the most we've had in recent. I can't remember last time we had that many openings.
Yeah.
Looks like there's at least maybe 4 or 5 openings left. So we're starting to fill up. Any surprises out there? I know the big one was McDermott getting fired from the Bills. But anything else that really stood out to you as far as some of these coaching openings and some of the hirings that's gone on recently?
The one that surprises me the most is the Philip Rivers one
Oh, him getting an interview for the Buffalo job.
with the Bills. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm keeping my eye on that. I have this weird feeling he's gonna be the next coach of the Bills.
Wow, that would be a big turnaround. I mean, that would be a big shock, considering all the other candidates that's out there.
I know,
And he
right?
doesn't have any, NFL. I know he coached, high school or whatever, but NFL coaching experience, and that, that's considered a high-profile job. Look at who they have at quarterback with Josh Allen, so that
Yeah,
would be very interesting if that were to take place.
that's one of the most attractive jobs still left in the pool. That's a
Hmm.
very attractive job. I liked his. I can't remember. Has Raheem Morris been picked up yet?
No, no, I know he's
No,
interviewing
he
for some
hasn't.
defensive coordinator jobs, but I
Yeah,
don't
I like.
see him getting another head coach opportunity. But he'll probably land on as a defensive coordinator somewhere.
Mm, mentor to the Ravens. I don't have a problem with that. I would have loved to
Mhm.
see Lamar Jackson with Kingsbury though.
Yeah, there was some talk that Kingsbury was in the mix. I thought they may go with an offensive coach, but
Hmm.
Mentor, he has history with the organization. He was a
Yep.
defensive coach on John Harbaugh's staff. He coached under his brother Jim Harbaugh with Michigan when we won the national championship and with the Chargers. So, and he's a young guy, young coach, up and coming coach. So that makes sense. It seemed like the job that nobody wants is the Cleveland Browns job. I
I
mean,
know. I
people
saw
are
that.
people
I
are
saw
turning
that.
down interviews left and right. So I don't know what they're going to do. I feel bad for Shador. I was hoping and maybe they still might end up getting a good hire, but somebody can come in and give him a real chance and kind of groom him, develop him. But man, I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see who takes that job. They may just end up promoting the defensive coordinator, Jim
Yeah,
Schwartz, at this point.
promote from inside.
Yeah.
But the thing with Shador, the whole Shador thing is, isn't Deshaun Jackson expected to play next year?
Deshaun Watson, yeah.
Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson.
Yeah, but that again, it depends on who the coach is, who they bring in. If they, will even give him a shot.
I know.
He's still under contract. I mean, fully guaranteed. So
Yeah, it's like almost you have to play him.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Whew. Yeah, this is one of the craziest coaching carousels I've seen in a while.
yeah, yeah, and the way these guys, the money these coaches are making, they get guaranteed contracts.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of pressure to come in and turn things around, right away. Very few coaches get the opportunities, to stay 3, 4, 5 years without, showing significant progress. So we'll see what happens. There's always going to be the question, the African American coaches getting
Oh yeah.
opportunities. And it's a possibility, they could be left out again in this cycle. So hopefully we have at least one. I thought I was pulling from Brian Flores, but he looks like he's going back to Minnesota to be the defensive coordinator. I know Vance Joseph's still out there, defensive coordinator for the Broncos. We'll see what happens with that.
His name was floating around. Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like, they may miss out on the hiring cycle again for the African American coaches, but, we'll see what happens with that.
Does Flores still have that pending lawsuit?
I believe so, yes.
That's probably why he won't.
That could be a factor as well with some of these teams. I mean, I know they like him as a coach.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can't Look what he's done as a defensive coordinator. I know he took some heat in Miami, but the guy can coach.
Hmm.
I know his personality comes off a little strong, so it can rub people the wrong way. But I think definitely he deserves another opportunity.
Yeah. And one we didn't touch on, Harbaugh to the Giants.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a good move. I mean, if you're looking at the New York Giants, they haven't had any real success since Tom Coughlin. And you
Hmm.
bring in an established guy like Harbaugh, who's won a Super Bowl, won a lot of games, won a lot of playoff games. And I know they've underachieved the last few years with Lamar. I'm not going to put that all on him. There's different crazy circumstances that happen, bad luck or whatever. But I think he was the best coach available out there. And that and the NFC East is going to be intriguing too because Philly, they've had some internal struggles. Commanders took a step back. Cowboys, you never know what you're going to get with them. So he has a chance to really make some noise next year in that division.
Hmm.
They've got some good young players. They just need to add, build, and they can be right back in it. They can be one of those teams that we could see in the playoffs next year, possibly. Who knows?
And he's walking into, again, barring, depending on how healthy everyone is, he's walking into Jackson Dart. He's walking into Malik Neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking into Brian Burns. He's walking into Scatterbull. So he has the pieces.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And shifting from the NFL going into the NBA, a lot going on NBA. I know your Detroit Pistons
Mm-hmm.
still first place in the East, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a team that's slowly creeping up behind them in that
Yeah.
number 2 spot.
Yeah.
That's my Boston Celtics. So it's getting very interesting, getting very hot in the East. But you got to still be feeling good about your Pistons. They've been able to maintain that number 1 spot pretty much since the beginning of the year, for the
Yeah.
last 3 months.
Again, man, this has been a great sports year for me. This is outside of what Florida State did this year,
Mm-hmm.
but my Pistons and Bears are really impressing me a lot. And I see, man, that NBA Eastern Conference, because it might come down to us.
Yeah.
It might come down
Celtics.
to in the Knicks. The Knicks were favored to go to the finals. Matter of fact, that window was closing too. By the way,
Yeah, they're starting to fall off a little bit. I'm not counting them out, but they're that momentum is starting to fade.
Yeah, they're like 2-10 in their last 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is not what it was. You had I think it was Mikal Bridges who said, "We're not doing this and that on defense." I've never heard anybody say that on a Tom Thibodeau coach squad.
Yeah. Well, Mike Brown now. Mike Brown.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
But when Thibodeau was there, you didn't hear
when
that.
Thibodeau's they have none of these problems.
No. And I like the Mike Brown hire, but I don't know. It seemed like they're starting to go backwards. And I didn't think Thibodeau should have got fired in the first place.
Either.
I thought he was made the scapegoat.
Me
I
either.
thought he did a great job getting them to the Eastern Conference Finals, first time in like 20-something years. I thought that was a bad move.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, and the scary thing about with the Celtics is that they don't even have Jason Tatum back. So when he gets back, hopefully around March or so, he's fully healthy, man. They could take off. So that's going to get real interesting. Like you said, it could come down between the battle between the Pistons and the Celtics. Back in the day when they had Larry Bird versus Isaiah Thomas, back in the golden days, we could see that.
We had a little bit of that in 2008. Pistons and Celtics in the conference finals. Chauncey Billups and those boys against KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. Yeah, so that's that Celtics and Bulls are the two teams I can't stand. Is a Pistons fan, right. And I'm going way back.
Yeah,
way back.
Here's an interesting thing. It's talk Giannis about him being traded, and then him possibly wanting to go to New York, to the Knicks. Now we'll see if that unfolds. But man, if that were to happen, then that changes that. That actually opens things up in the Eastern Conference, depending on where Giannis ends up, and if he ends up going to New York.
Him and Jalen Brunson on a pick and roll. My God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, what do the Knicks have to offer though?
Yeah, that's the key.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You have to give up a whole lot. And didn't the Knicks give up a lot for Mikal Bridges?
Yeah.
Like 15 first-round picks.
Yeah.
For Mikal Bridges. So
I think a good landing spot for Giannis. I don't know if they would that they could pull it off. Him in San Antonio, with him in Wembley, and some of that young
That
core
at
they
that point,
have.
but it wouldn't be fair at that point.
Yeah, yeah,
At that point, it wouldn't even be fair.
yeah.
That'd be crazy. Wembanyama, Giannis,
Hmm.
and those other pieces the Spurs have. I like watching Spurs. That's one of my must-see TV games. Anytime the Spurs are on TV, I tune in.
Yeah, yeah. They're a fun team to watch. And I
Yeah,
think they're second right now in that Western Conference. So right behind OKC Thunder, and that's turned into a rivalry because they've beaten they've gotten the best of the Thunder this year.
yeah,
That's turned into a real rivalry out there in the West. So it's not a foregone conclusion. Thunder get back to the finals. I know they're running
right.
through everybody but they got to get through the Spurs.
What's what's so what's so great about the NBA is the NBA is a league of matchups. You got no the Spurs. The Spurs can beat Oklahoma City. They won like three games on them, right? They
Yeah,
beat them like three
yeah,
times already this year, where nobody else can beat. Where nobody else could beat Oklahoma City. Then when you go to the playoffs, things like that happen too. Remember the '08 you remember the '08 Celtics
hmm
before while they were making their run. Who they have in the first round that one year? They had Atlanta. I think they took it.
I think it was Atlanta.
I
And
think
I played
Atlanta
Atlanta, then Chicago, and then I think Detroit, somebody like
did,
that. Yeah,
did, did Atlanta take them to 7
yeah, they
games,
did.
and
I
that's what I'm
remember
talking.
they did.
And the Hawks had no business hanging with
No,
the Celtics like that.
right.
But again, it's matchups.
Hmm.
When you see stuff like that. Also, I can go back to '07 where remember the Golden State Warriors with Baron Davis and Steven Jackson, those
Hmm.
boys, and
Yeah,
they eliminated the Dallas Mavericks.
yeah, I remember
It
that
was so
too.
it was so funny during that series. I was like, Golden State can beat Dallas, but they're not going to beat anyone else in this Western Conference playoffs.
Exactly.
But it's just the game of matchups.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know we're coming up on time, but looking forward for tomorrow championship games.
Yep,
I got Broncos. I know we're on the same page with that. I think it's gonna be they're gonna pull off the upset. I really do.
me too.
Could be wrong, but I just didn't think they'll have a game plan. I think Sean Payton will have Stidham ready, and I think that Seahawks Rams could go either way. I'm leaning towards the Seahawks because of the defense. But like you said, I mean, Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, they've been there. They've won championships. They've won big games. You see what they've done in these playoffs, in these close games. They find a way. So that's going to be an intriguing game as well. But I'm looking forward to it. And to me, I think this weekend's the Super Bowl because I don't know. I think the NFC winner is going to win it, regardless who comes out of the AFC, in my
Me,
opinion.
me too. NFC is going to win it. And again, I have Broncos Rams. It's my Super Bowl pick.
Stidham having to start against either one of those teams, the Rams or Seahawks. So if you're a Broncos fan, enjoy it now. If you won't get that win, because it's gonna be tough getting to the Super Bowl. But the goal is to get to the Super Bowl. Obviously,
Mhm.
anything could happen. We saw with, like you mentioned earlier, Nick Foles with the Eagles.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, Kai, I want to thank you, man, joining me. I know it's been a minute, but I'm glad to
Anytime.
have you back on. Everybody out there watching the fans view, supporting the podcast, appreciate it. We're going to have some more episodes coming up soon, obviously. And we're going to revisit in this championship weekend, talk about the games, going into the Super Bowl, who we like, and, getting our expertise on who we think is going to win and recapping the AFC and NFC championship games. And, looking forward to the offseason because, we got free agency coming up, draft talk. So there's a lot to get into over the next few weeks. All right,
Any,
Kai, thanks for having you on, man. Thanks for
anytime,
everybody out
brother.
there watching, listening. And we will see you again soon. Take care and be safe.